I really like these two warm-ups next to each other because they're basically the opposite. So on this one, we need to talk about how do you undo a square root. And to undo a square root, you square it. Beautiful. Okay. Now on this side, the square root and the squared cancel each other out. So you're just left with whatever's underneath. And then on this side, 5 squared is 25. And then add 1, b equals 26. Okay, now number 11 is the opposite of that. So we need to square root, but we can't do it yet. We need to fix the 5 and the 9 first. So we're going to start with subtracting 5. Then divide by 9. And then square root for the last step. Okay, now this is something we're working on the whole class. What do I have to do? What do I have to remember when I square root both sides? That's true. Well, it doesn't. It has to be positive. Honor, what did you say? True. That's a true fact. That's not what I was looking for. Jules? Nope. Oh, you're not wrong. That's a true fact also. Multiply 3 times 3 is 9. I like it. Okay. Plus or minus? The answer is plus or minus. This answer is plus or minus 3. Okay. Because if you think about it, 3 squared is 9 and negative 3 squared is 9. They both work. So you have to remember them. So the rule is when you square root both sides, you have to remember the plus or minus. As a matter of fact, I did this in Math 3 today, and they also were like, what do you do again? Plus or minus. So something that we're working on there. Okay, any questions about 9 and 11 after we did them? So we'll come back and do number 10 and 12 on Thursday. Thursday. Okay, now that is a perfect segue into my next topic, which is the schedule for the week. If you guys could please look at your stamp sheet side. Okay, couple of things really important. You guys probably already know, but tomorrow and Wednesday are the block days this week. It's gonna feel weird. I don't like it either. Tomorrow, you do not have this class. Weird, I know. Wednesday, we're doing the math test, so you need to bring a charged Chromebook. And your homework after that will be to work on the quiz 1 review worksheet. And then Thursday, I'm going to teach like a regular class. And then Friday, we'll have a worksheet and the quiz. On Friday, I believe we get out at 12:50. Okay. So regular, block, regular, minimum this week. And then, yeah, I can't sure you get. And then next week is really weird too. There's no block days next week. Because it's a 4-day week. So they're all 3 regular days.
It's a 3-day week.
You do. That's why it's a 4-day weekend. Oh, I meant 4-day weekend. I meant to say end. 4-day weekend. So it's regular day, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Anyway, it's gonna be weird. Yes. 12:50. Okay, anyway. So today's classwork is this and the homework is this, although I want to show you the joke because I like it today very much. the best show ever? I don't know. It's got Ice Cube in it. I feel like anything with Ice Cube in it's got to be good. Uh, okay, so today we're going to do solve by graphing and equal values method again. And then we're going to preview substitution and elimination methods, which is where this chapter is going. And homework is 49 to 54. And here's my joke. It says, no one threw up or cried today. Today was a good day. And there's Ice Cube driving home, looking all sweet. All right, go ahead and set up number 44, please. And I have to tell you that it is really a good day when no one throws up or cries in class. Although someone did fart out loud in my math 3 class last Friday. I mean, so the story went like this. It was supposed to be a joke on the table group, but it ended up being so loud that the whole class heard it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go home now. Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna go take a nap. Okay, so let me talk about the goal for number 44. This is a word problem. I know how much you love those. We're going to find the equation for Team Sunshine, find the equation for Team Breeze. They're both going to be y equals mx plus b style. And then they're both equal to y, so we're going to equal them to each other using equal values method. Okay, so right now we're learning solve by graphing and equal values method, but we're not graphing on this one. It's just equal values method. Okay, here we go. Back to Ice Cube. Okay, it's time to cool off on a hot summer day. I'm right here. Team Sunshine is filling an inflatable kiddie pool from a garden hose. The pool has 30 gallons in it, and Team Sunshine is adding 8 gallons per minute with the garden hose. Okay, the pool has 30 gallons in it, and Team Sunshine is adding 8 gallons per minute with the garden hose. Which one of those things is the slope? 8, beautiful. Okay, so you guys write down under Team Sunshine, y equals 8x plus 30. Okay, now Team Breeze, they're going to try to trick you on this one. Don't let them. Next door, Team Breeze's pool is already filled with 180 gallons of water. They are emptying the pool at 5 gallons per minute with buckets. Emptying, what does that mean? Yeah, exactly. Y equals negative 5x plus 180. Okay, now we have two equations that are equal to y. So we're going to do equal values method. Both equations equal y. That means they can equal each other. Now, if you're working ahead on this problem, you might have realized that this is going to have an unsatisfying answer. And that is okay. Remember, real life situations don't come out with whole number answers all the time. Actually, ever, really, but okay, so 11.54 minutes in, they will both have the same amount in their pool. And how do I find out how much? Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay. And you can choose either one of these. I'm going to choose this one because it's got positive numbers. Okay. Any questions about number 44? So word problem, we found both equations. They both equal to y, so we did equal values method, solve for x, and then plugged it back in to get y. You guys okay? Okay, I'm going to scooch this down so you can set this problem up. Okay, so setup number 45. I'm going to write something on the whiteboard while you're doing that. All right, solve by graphing. Solve by graphing means you graph the two lines and find where they cross. I'm going to start with the top one. This is a -3 for B. So I'm going to start at -3. And then the slope is 4/3, so that's up 4/3, up 4/3. I started with b at -3, up 4/3, up 4/3. I'm going to take my ruler that is definitely here. Didn't disappear this time. I know. Super convenient. And make the line. Okay, now the second one. B is 4, so I go up 4. The slope is -1, so that means down 1, right 1. Three, 1, perfect. Okay, so the coordinate where they cross is 3, 1. And the answer to this question is the coordinate 3, 1, which is the point of intersection. And you can abbreviate that to POI if you're lazy. Okay, are there any questions about solve by graphing? Graph one line, graph the other, find where they cross. Now, do they always cross? No. I'm going to direct your attention to these wonderful pictures I made back here. Sometimes they cross and you get an XY point of intersection. Sometimes they don't cross, and that's called no solution, and they're parallel. And sometimes they cross everywhere, which means that they're exactly the same line and they have infinite solutions. We have to keep our eye out for those possibilities, but most of the time it's a coordinate. Okay, now we're going to do the same problem with equal values method, and we should get the same answer. They're both equal to y, so we equal them to each other. 4/3 x minus 3 equals -x plus 4. Oh no, Mrs. Talbot, I just realized just now why you made us do all those fraction busters. That's because a lot of times these make fraction busters. Okay, what is the least common denominator in this problem? 3, right? So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times. Multiplied all of the tops by 3. And if I did it right, this should divide evenly, which it does. Okay, Does this answer here jive with our solve by graphing answer? Yes, because x was 3. Okay, now we're going to plug it back in to find y, and I think there's a clear winner on which one I'm going to plug it into. The second one, because it doesn't have a fraction in it, and I'm just that lazy. Okay, now pause there real quick. This spot right here is where the material ends for your quiz that you have in this class on Friday. Okay, so there are 4 questions on this quiz on Friday. The first one is a standard form to factor form problem. Do you know what I mean by that? So it's like get y by itself. So you've got like 3x plus 5y equals 15. You minus 3x from both sides, divide by 5, get y equals something like this. Second one is a literal equation. That's one of the ones that has all the letters in it, and you've got to solve for one of the letters. Yeah, that's going to be everyone's least favorite. The third question is going to be one of these, solved by graphing, and the fourth question is going to be one of the equal values method. But they're not the same question, so you can't use one to check the other necessarily. You could still like check it with the graph and reply. They're different questions. So 4 questions. One of them is get y by itself. One of them is a literal equation, which could be any letters. Third one is a solve by graphing. Fourth one is equal values. And there's a quiz review worksheet in your packet that will help with that too, which is not what we're doing today, but okay. Now, everything after this that we're doing in this particular lesson is not on your quiz. So that's where the cutoff is right there. Okay. Number 46. How do I pronounce this? Renard thought that writing 2 equations for problem 644 was easy. He wants to know who wants to use 2 equations with 2 variables to solve this problem. Ariel bought several bags of caramel candy and several bags of taffy. Okay, pause real quick. Who likes caramel better than taffy? Who likes taffy better than caramel? Who loves both equally and will eat either one and when presented to? Who likes neither? Yeah, poor people with braces. Okay, anyway, the number of bags of taffy was 5 more than the number of bags of caramels. Okay, pause here. Which one do we know nothing about? Caramels. Okay, so we're gonna go let x equal caramels. You always want to let the letter be the one that you know nothing about. I know nothing about caramels, except for that they're delicious. I know. Okay, now we're going to use our translating techniques to get what taffy is. The number of bags of taffy was 5 more than the number of bags of caramels. 5 more than. If caramels is x, what's 5 more than caramel? X plus 5, right? Again, you do not need to do this on your quiz. I know this is hard. We need a lot of practice. Okay. Taffy bags weigh 8 ounces each. I'm right here. Taffy bags weigh 8 ounces each. So taffy bags, 8 for each one. That means times. And that's plus. Caramel bags weigh 16 ounces each. So 8 for each taffy and 16 for each caramel. Caramel or caramel? Total weight of the bags was 400 ounces. Total of 400. I do realize how hard that is. Not solving this problem so much, getting the words to the equation is hard. Okay. What am I going to do first? Distribute. That's not supposed to be equals, Mrs. Talbot. It was. I don't even think I messed up in math 3 yet. It'll happen. I think that's 15. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so there are 15 bags of delicious, delicious caramels. And then taffy is going to be that plus 5. That's a lot of candy, people. 20 bags of taffy. Do you ever get the taffy? Oh, true. Do you ever get the taffy that has like the little key with it that like this color is this flavor and this color is this flavor? No. It's like the saltwater taffy
Yes.
from like Santa Cruz. Oh, I want it now. Oh yeah. Feel like we should go get it. We should have a field trip to where we can get taffy. Okay. Alrighty. I'm gonna flip my page over. All right. So again, that will not be on your quiz. Do not worry. We're still working on the word problem thing. This will also not be on your quiz. This one, I want you to write it down, and I want you to think about why we can't really do equal values method. Actually, that's a false statement. You can do equal values method if you want to. It's not easy. We're gonna find X and Y. Mhm. So this is what we were talking about last week, Evan, 2 equations, 2 unknowns. And this one is different from our previous ones because the top one is not solve for Y and the bottom one is. Now, if I asked you guys to solve for Y on the top one, you could, right? That would be the first question of your quiz, basically, would be to get Y by itself on something like that. But it's not the best approach when you have one equation that's equal to a letter and the other one isn't. What we do is called substitution method. Substitution. I don't know what happened with my pen there. Okay, substitution. What you do is you take the one that has y equals, and for me, I like to put a box around the stuff that equals y. And then I'm going to put an arrow and I'm going to plug it in for y in the other equation. Substitution method means that you literally substitute. I'm going to take the y and I'm going to replace it with this stuff. Okay, let me show you. I'm going to start with x minus 2. And then the y is going to be substituted by negative 1/2 x plus 4. And then equals 4. Okay, so what happened? X minus 2y equals 4. X minus 2y equals 4. But now this equation just has one letter, so that means I can solve it. Okay, so distribute. What is negative 2 times negative 1/2?
2.
1.
1.
Okay, now on substitution method problems, it's easiest to take your x and plug it back into the box part that you put the box around. So y equals negative 1/2 times 6 plus 4. Don't forget the final answer, which is a coordinate 6 what? Now, I'm not expecting you to know this immediately. We're going to practice this a lot, but that's called substitution method. Okay, now we have one more problem and one more method. Again, it's not going to be on your quiz, but this is where we're going. Now, the last method that we do is called elimination method. And you use that one when the x's and y's are lined up like this. So the x's are above each other, the y's are above each other, and the numbers are above each other. And this is called elimination. And this particular problem is a baby elimination one because it's your first one. But what you do is you add the two equations together. And in this particular case, those cancel. That's what makes this a baby one. 2y plus 3y is 5y. And 14 plus 26 is 40. And you already have y right away. Okay, now I'm going to choose the top one to plug it back into because it doesn't have the negative x. So x plus 2 times 8 equals 14. And the only thing I have to say on this one is just be careful on your final answer that the x comes first and then the y. So now you have full picture of where this chapter's going. We will be doing a lot of solve by graphing, equal values, substitution, and elimination. Some of them with word problems, which are not everyone's favorite, but we'll get better at them. Yes, honey. Two unknowns would be x and y in this particular one. So the two equations and then two things you don't know would be the two different letters. So two unknowns means two different letters. But we figured